Todorov's theory explains the whole narrative. He identifies how the establishment of a problem leads to a build-up to the resolution. We used his theory to build up to the resolution, which is Ali running away. The action climax of our film is when Zayn gets a phone call. This changes events and leads to the car chase where he gets run over. We decided to subvert forms and conventions by animating some scenes and almost make it seem like a fantasy. The reason we did this was to connote something mystical. According to Todorov, we have a narrative problem, which is that the younger brother has mystical premonitions. Whenever this occurs, the animation foreshadows. It makes the audience aware of the difference between fantasy and reality. This is a way in which we have made it distinctive. Whilst doing our research, we came across a film named A Scanner Darkly, which showed animated characters throughout the film. This helped us come to the decision of creating animated scenes, as it makes it clear for the audience to see the difference between real life and fantasy. There was non-diegetic sound used in the film in certain scenes to create the atmosphere and build up to the event which was going to occur. This occurred in the film Love and Hate, where emotional characters are shown their slow music used and the tempo slowly builds up to the character revealing their emotions. We used an instrumental soundtrack from YouTube. For our film, we used both diegetic and non-diegetic sound. Diegetic sound was used to emphasize the realism. We used slow sound at the start of the film to set the scene. The sound used here was non-diegetic. Whilst filming and editing, we used many different camera angles to emphasize a certain scene to make the audience aware of exactly what was going on. A focus pull was used when the character was drunk and was walking up the stairs very slowly. The camera was at a high angle, shown looking down at the character when he's drunk. This connotes he's at a low point. As the character takes his keys out of his pocket, he drops them onto the floor. This is shown blurry to show how the character is seeing things through his eyes. This is a point of view shot to connote he's drunk. When the character is looking for his younger brother Ali, he's in the kitchen and the camera is shown spinning around the room, which connotes he has lost control of the situation and how much of a hurry he is in to find out where he is. When Zayn finds the note his brother has left on the fridge, voiceover was used here, as these are important narrative moments and the voiceover emphasises this moment. This is known as internal dialogue. There are flashbacks shown whilst the note is being read to show how Zayn used to treat Ali. The tempo builds up as he finds out the truth that Ali has run away. This leads to Zayn walking into the living room and throwing the CD directly at the camera, which shows his anger. This is a stylistic postmodern technique and is a form of direct address with the audience. It keeps the audience's attention as it mixes up third and first person and shows fantasy mixed with reality. Bart's identified enigma codes that aid narrative progression. Action codes give easily understood information. We have used this theory to an extent in our film. This is shown where Zayn throws the CD at the camera and the film ends. This shows his anger through his actions and values as an action code. Also, when the flashbacks are shown, the feathered effect of the frame around the scene shows it is a flashback or dream. We use many different effects throughout the process of editing our film. We used a sepia glowy effect, which shows Zayn go back into time, into the past, and show the series of events which have occurred. Sepia tint was also used to emphasize the past. We used a feathered frame when the character's dream was shown so that it is clear for the audience that a dream is occurring. Throughout the film, we used a dark tinted effect which emphasises on the realism, as many films such as Next have used this effect. Our print products use conventions of real media products. We've also used a cartoon effect on the poster which has Zayn's face on it. The poster is slightly similar to the film poster Salt, which shows the main character's face on it. She is made to look directly at the audience, which is what our poster does. The colours used are similar, as our poster uses dark colours to create a mystical and spooky atmosphere. This is what the film poster Salt also connotes. Our theme of the film and print products are similar in many ways. For example, the colour, text and house style. Our print products are in dark tones, which emphasises our genre of the film. Even in our movie we have used a dark blue tint effect, which also emphasises on the genre. The font title used on the film poster is also similar to our second poster, which will be used for the review. We have tried to make our print products look professional, which would attract our target audience to watch the movie. We designed 2 posters with effects, but one was used for review and one was the official film poster. Our film poster has the character looking directly at the camera, communicating with audience, and the other design is used for the review, where the 2 main characters are looking at each other, which makes the audience ponder more into the review. The effect used in the print products, like the glow from the sky, is a good example of photography effect, which will tell the audience what genre the movie is. audience feedback was very useful in the planning and development of our project. Before we filmed, feedback given to us was to change the way the story ends because it was too much of a cliche, so we decided to change it from ending in a dream to the character realising what he dreamt was what his younger brother was trying to tell him all along. This is where the film ends. There was also a focus group after we had edited our film, which we gained feedback. The audience mainly commented on the effects we used and said it helped make it clear to see the difference between reality and fantasy. They liked the music, which builds up to the climax, and the scene where Zayn gets run over. However, the only criticism was that they found the scene where Zayn leaves the house confusing and said it should be clearer. We also had a focus group in class where we showed our 2 print products, which are the film poster and the film review. We produced 4 posters in total, 3 of which were drafts. When presenting these to the class, many people suggested the image of the older brother's face used works well with the film, so we decided to stick to our original idea of the film poster. The negative feedback was that there was too much empty space shown which needed to be filled up. This is something which we worked on and made amendments to by including a chart of ratings on our video which we got from YouTube as we had uploaded our short film onto there. They liked the colours used and the way the image was taken, which shows the character looking directly at the audience. This was on our film poster. On the film review, they liked the colours and layout used as it followed typical conventions of a real film review. The technologies used played a large part in the construction and planning of our products. For example, when filming, we used a tripod to create stability. When we recorded the accident, the camera had to be still so we could overlay 2 video clips and mask them. Media technologies we mainly used were Final Cut Pro to edit our film, Photoshop, InDesign, After Effects and Sony Vegas. In the construction of our print products, we used the social networking site Facebook, where we uploaded our film poster to gain a wider range of feedback on things which could be changed and whether any changes did need to be made. We also used YouTube to upload our short film and gain feedback on it from others, not just college students. This was also used for research into similar films. We used Moodle to download pre-production documents. In order for us to make the accident scene, we had to use After Effects, which was the perfect software for visual effects. We had to take 2 shots on the tripod separately. In one of the shots, the character crosses the road trying to approach the girl. In the second shot, the car drives past. Both of the shots were overlapped, keeping the character layer on top, which was then masked to remove the background from it. After the character was masked, we had to make an animation of the same layer moving across to the right as the car intersects the layer. This animation was made through setting position key points of the layer. After the animation, we used the puppet tool in After Effects to bend the character's body layer soon as the car hits him. We pinpointed 3 points on the body, top, middle and bottom, so we could get a curved bend of the body. This was done to get the real visual effect of the car accident. We used a shot from another angle to finish off the accident scene. This shot was filmed on a different day and at a different time, so there were some complications for continuity of the film. So we adjusted the curves and the contrast to make the scene darker, because in the previous scene the shot was recorded at about 5 PM and the other scene was shot at 11 AM. We also added effects to the scene which would support the next shot, because in the next shot it was raining, which was also recorded on a different day at a different time due to the time limit. A bleeding effect was created on After Effects using Trapcode plugin. We had to mask the character layer so we could put it above the blood layer to make it look as if the blood is coming out of the back of his head. We created animated blood coming out of his forehead using Trapcode plugin on After Effects. Rotoscope was a good technique to create a cartoonish effect on the character in the scene. After Effects CS5 made it easy for the user to rotoscope objects in the scene. The Roto brush tool allowed us to select out the moving image in the scene and cut out the background, which allowed us to duplicate the layer and add a poster effect onto the layer, which was then overlapped onto the original layer. We used 3D animation to finish off the final scene, where Zayn throws the CD at the camera. In order to do this correctly, we used After Effects CS4. In After Effects, we used a keyframe DVD coming at the camera in a 3D layer. We had to make sure the DVD leaves the character's hand and hits the screen at the correct time. In reality, Zayn was holding a CD but did not throw it for health and safety reasons. Throwing the CD at the camera shows Zayn's anger. In order to organise our house style for print products, we used margin lines on Photoshop to keep the text aligned in one place. We used the images we had taken and added a dark tonal effect, as this emphasises the genre of our film and creates a mystical atmosphere. The clouds didn't come out how we wanted, so we had to get a separate image of clouds and place them on top to create a more dramatic effect on the poster, which emphasises the genre. A light ray effect was added to the clouds as it connotes something mysterious. Images were cut out from photographs we had taken and placed on top of the background. We added a dark tonal effect to Ali to make him look as if he's standing in the picture. The most dominant character's image had to be large in order for him to communicate with the audience. We added a dark effect to Zayn's face as this creates the contrast and grabs the audience's attention. My partner played a larger part in the editing, filming and construction process, whereas I focused on the writing as this was a field of work I was better at. He had better knowledge than me on using the various editing programs, however I did contribute towards ideas. We were both happy with the roles which we took on and worked well together in order for our project to be successful.